Obviously, the big name coming in this season is Jared Verse. What have been the impression so far, just the conditioning and strength program?
Well, I was super excited to bring Jared into the program, and to this point, the 6 weeks or so that he's been here, he's done an excellent job. He's assimilated well with the rest of the guys. He works hard every single day. He's eager to learn. He's eager to work. So, I know he's going to be excited about tomorrow being our first day of spring practice and to show what he has. And, the biggest thing I told him is just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else or live up to any expectations that may be out there. Just give me the best version of yourself. And I think if he can stay in that mindset and that focus, he'll be just fine.
Coach Norvell pointed out that he really only played maybe a season and a half of college football, still has 3 years of eligibility remaining. What kind of things do you see on film that maybe he can work on to improve what he did so far?
Well, I think he's just learning the position and then learning the position within our defense. There's some things we've had some walkthroughs and some things have happened throughout the course of those walkthroughs that, he, like you said, he is still a young player, especially at that position, and just continuing to hone those fundamentals and the understanding of how he fits in the scheme with the other 10 guys that are on the field. I think that's going to be the biggest thing throughout the course of this spring is just to get him comfortable with what we're doing, what we're asking him to do, and then how we're asking him to do it.
And I know the feeling last year was that so much of the position was those 2 guys, Jermaine and Kier. But Derek played a lot of football. Quayshawn played some football. How valuable was that experience for those guys, and what do you expect from them coming forward?
I thought the development of the guys behind Jermaine and Kier was significant a year ago. I thought Derek and Quayshawn both made significant strides throughout the course of the year, and I've really liked the development of some of our young guys. Pat Payton's had a good offseason, bringing in Jared Verse, having Leonard Warner healthy, getting Byron Turner back to being healthy, having George Wilson in the program for a year. There's some guys at that position that can play, and it's going to be an interesting position battle. I'm excited to watch it play out.
Leonard, what was the conversation like for him to come back, and I guess what do you think he can give you guys?
Well, I think it was important for Leonard to be able to end his Florida State career on his own terms. It was real disappointing for him a year ago to get hurt in spring practice. He had done well leading up to that, and I had high expectations for him a year ago, and just getting past that injury and working as hard as he did through the rehab process. I think he's looking at this as obviously it's his last opportunity here, but his opportunity to leave an impact. And he's worked extremely hard through the offseason. He's been consistent. He's really honed his skill as a defensive end. So the injury could end up being a blessing in disguise that he had that extra time to really learn the spot. And I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table.
I was watching him at the tour duty. I mean, he's put on some weight, but he moves. He was a linebacker, so he moves. You think he can give you guys something in the pass rush? I
do, and he's a physical kid. And the fact that he's gained some weight and he's gotten stronger, I think he can give us something, as an every down guy. So I'm excited to see him.
And I actually want to switch to special teams a little bit. You got, along with the receivers you guys brought in, you brought a couple guys who've returned kicks and punts before. How much of the process was that in evaluating them, and how excited are you about what they might be able to give you guys?
Well, I mean, in both cases, both Winston and Micah's case, I mean, that was a big part of it. We saw the value that they brought, not only as wide receivers, but what they could do in the return game. And obviously, it's a position of need for us, and positions we got to get better at. So being able to have those guys here now, be with us in the spring, get them acclimated to what we do from a special team standpoint, has been huge. And I'm excited about having both of them here and being able to watch them compete.
And then you have a lot of continuity with the other kicking units. I mean, you got the holders and snappers and kickers and punters back. And how much – it seemed like Ryan really came on late during the course of last season. But how much is that continuity good for him just to have those guys in place?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, you want consistency at those specialist spots. And I think Ryan, as the year went on, got more comfortable and gained some confidence. He had some real challenging situations early in the year, but really after he made the kick against Syracuse, that was kind of the walk-off game winner. You could see him really feel confident about who he was, and really in that back half of the year, he became very consistent in practice, and that translated to games. And I thought that was good for him just to be able to have the same holder, same snapper, and get comfortable with who they are and how they did things.
And just going back to the return game, having guys who have done it and had success, do you feel like that was a missing piece in terms of the return game, or do you feel like there's anything you guys got to change in terms of the rest of the unit?
Like everything, we're going to look at different things that we need to tweak and adjust from year to year when it's related to the scheme. But getting consistency at the returner spot is big for us. We used 4 different guys on the punt return. We used multiple guys on the kickoff return unit, and it never seemed like we could settle in, obviously, on who that was going to be. And I think having some consistency there, knowing who that's going to be, and then developing that personnel is going to be very critical for us going forward.
It seemed like from the outside, you would know better that maybe just the struggles were kind of weighing on some of the guys mentally a little bit. Did you feel like there was a lack of confidence a little bit from the guys who were going as the season went on?
I think that anytime you're not having success, it's hard to have confidence in what you're doing, and I think that's in anything really. And so as the year kind of went, and we had some issues in terms of catching balls, fielding balls, ball security. And it became more of a focus. It's like kind of one of those things that the harder you work to fix it, the more of a mental strain it puts on you. Because it wasn't a lack of effort or want to. I mean, that was certainly not the case. But it was something we struggled doing. It showed up, and it showed up in our last game of the year against Florida, which was a critical play in the game. So it's obviously something we got to fix, and I feel like we have the right guys in place to get that done.